Hello, everyone. We're back with some more insights from Brand Licensing Europe. This time I'm with Martin Weck from Wildbrain, where we're going to talk a little bit about how Wildbrain has grown and expanded from not just a licensing group, but also a lifestyle brand and even more. So to begin, Wildbrain has grown so much over the past years, especially with the introduction of Aspire. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, let's say the growth, has been really sparked in a couple of areas. First of all, we expanded our office network quite extensively. So besides, having Europe as our stronghold, also having opened offices in the US, but also in Asia, throughout China, but also the APAC region. So we have in total now about 25 offices. And I think that growth really has fueled the opportunity for us to be a global player in the consumer product space. And we've also felt that besides having the entertainment side of our business, that lifestyle via our Aspire division is really adding something to the equation. So besides representing lifestyle brands, like collegial brands or like FMCG brands, car brands, that there really also is a layover towards entertainment, that brands can mesh up towards one another. So there's a lot of synergy going on with Aspire and our entertainment brands as well.
How have you adapted to the wider changes of the industry? Like you said, lifestyle and entertainment go together. We've seen a lot more of that. So can you just give me some insight?
It's always difficult to be on trend because the trend is moving so fast. But I really believe, is that being active in all kinds of different areas as to where a brand is, so literally a 360, being that in, on screens, being that in stores, being it in experiences, that literally consumers touch on all of those elements, and you need to be present on all of those elements. And that, the trend is that it has become more difficult. Where we used to be growing up having just linear TV stations, for instance, nowadays you've got so many different forms of engaging people via screens, but you need to be present on all of them, and that includes, for instance, socials as well. So it's much more challenging to do so, but hey, we love a challenge, and therefore it's a lot of fun.
How do your display properties, both in-house and representative, kind of showcase what you're capable of?
Well, if we look at our in-house properties, of course, that's really where we're trying to project our best practices. And for us, this goes back to the 360. So if it is our studio capability of actually creating premium content or omni-channel content, the different ways of distribution, being, as I said, in linear, but fast channels, AVOD, SVOD, but also, again, social media, franchise management, and then all the way back to consumer products. I think, the trend that 360 is so extremely important in order to get engagement. That is something which I think we've tried to align our company with, and with those capabilities, to project that on our own brands, but also for our third-party brands, being a partner which actually brands can tap into in order for us to have a whole suite of services that actually help them activate that 360 around their brand.
And then let's focus strictly on Aspire for a moment. So how do you see the lifestyle category growing and expanding in the next few years?
So we've seen in the last couple of years is that, lifestyle in general has grown. Is the emotional connection that consumers have with lifestyle brands is relatively high and spans a big target demo as well. So for instance, we've seen over the last couple of years that collegial brands, where historically there wasn't much traction, but is that the emotion that consumers have with brands like Harvard or Yale or Cambridge, for that matter, is so high, is that actually translates towards fashion, but now we also see is that even spills over to multiple other categories. And I think, that for the trend moving forward, is that will only grow. It's the aspiration, hence the name Aspire, but the aspiration where consumers want to connect with those brands.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your insight. Hopefully you all gleaned as much from this interview as I have. Once again, we're at Brand Licensing Europe, and remember, it starts here.